What's up, fellas? I want to talk to you guys about the real best matchup of all of UFC 313. I think the main event's going to be fun. I love Alex Pereira, huge fan of him. But honestly, I think these two prospects take home the cake by a landslide. I think it'll be fight of the night. It's Rei Tsuruya versus Joshua Van. Hear me out. Hear me out. These guys are both absolute fucking warriors, right? I watched Tsuruya run through the road to the UFC with 2 finishes and a decision, and then his UFC debut absolutely styled on his opponent in Carlos Hernandez. And then you got Joshua Van, who's 5-1 in the UFC and still only 23 years old. I just love both these guys. I think they're really fun. They're fun on the feet. They're fun on the ground. The anti-wrestling from Joshua Van ties really well into his boxing. And Tsuruya's got that Tatsuro Taira type jiu-jitsu where he's just an absolute fucking wizard on the ground with, I would say, even better takedowns than a guy like Tatsuro Taira. And what comes with this is it's exactly a striker versus a grappler matchup, which I fucking love. Everyone loves those kind of matchups because we got to see whose style prevails, right? And it's really going to come down to, is Joshua Van's wrestling defense improved enough? I mean, he has 80% wrestling takedown defense, right? In the UFC, 80% is pretty damn good. But he only started wrestling 6 months before his UFC debut. And I mean, we saw it against Cody Durden. His sprawls are fucking fantastic. But with a guy like Rei Tsuruya, he has really advanced wrestling. He's not going to be shooting singles. He's not going to be shooting doubles. He will shoot them, but he chains really well. We saw him hit a crazy belly-to-belly suplex against Carlos Hernandez against the fence. And DC started breaking it down how, his entries are just a lot more advanced, even for a guy who can really scramble well like Joshua Van, right? If Joshua Van is properly preparing for this fight, I know it's on a somewhat of a short notice. I think it's about 3 weeks. Hopefully he's fully prepared for a guy like Rei Tsuruya. He was go against Bruno Silva before, but Bruno Silva pulled out due to injury. All things considered, I think Bruno Silva is a really good grappler. So I think he was preparing for it, but how well, time will tell. If Rei Tsuruya can't get him down and hold him down, he's going to have a lot of fucking problems. And that's because the volume of Joshua Van is the highest of any UFC fighter in UFC history currently. He has an 8.88 significant strikes per minute rate. And that's a fucking insane statistic. That means he's throwing a minimum or landing a minimum of, I don't know how to do math, of 45 strikes, about 45 strikes per round. That's fucking per round. That's not in a whole fight. That's not, and that's with grappling, The boxing distance for Joshua Van is an absolute slaughterhouse, right? If Tsuruya can't get him down and hold him down, he's going to get pieced up. He's going to get dropped. He's going to get hurt. I think he's durable enough to last to a decision. In the case that Tsuruya can't get Joshua Van down to the ground, I don't see a path to victory for him. I don't think his striking's as bad as a guy like Tatsuro Taira's when he fought Brandon Royval, but this matchup reminds me a lot of that, where Royval's boxing overcame Tatsuro Taira's elite grappling. It's just going to be a matter of time to see whose game prevails, and I think it's going to be shape up to be an absolute fucking banger on the card. One thing that hasn't been proven is Tsuruya's striking. Joshua Van's fought guys like Cody Durden, Edgar Shirez, Charles Johnson. He did get knocked out by Charles Johnson in the third, but he defended the takedowns well until then. And he also sprawled super heavily against Cody Durden. And just about every guy who shot him has gotten like their takedown stuffed. Can Rei Tsuruya really push his game and sub a guy like Joshua Van? I don't know. And when it comes to the issue of cardio, is Joshua Van or Tsuruya getting the advantage? I'm leaning, at least grappling cardio, Rei Tsuruya. But Joshua Van's pace, can Tsuruya keep up with it? That's the real reality we have to come to, right? Against Carlos Hernandez, I think maybe 20 strikes were thrown on the feet that whole fight. They really didn't strike very much. So is he going to be okay with such a jump in competition to a top 15 guy like that? And is he going to mold well? Time will tell, right? I'm leaning a Joshua Van decision. I don't think he'll put out Tsuruya. I think he's too talented for that. But both these guys' ages combined is only 45, which is the same age as Alexei Oleinik in his last UFC fight. These guys are so young, and it comes to a point where people start realizing flyweight division's way more fucking fun than Dana White makes it to be. I know Dana White hates the flyweight division, but I don't fucking understand why. These guys always have bangers in the prelims. They always have really fun matchups. They're always doing high flying, really exciting, fast paced shit. I know there's not crazy fucking knockouts. Wham wham, fucking cry about it. But they're really fun to watch. And I think these guys are going to really steal the show at UFC 313.